Hello and welcome to Taffy Crafting. My name's Donna and I've got a gift box project for you today. For those of you that regularly watch my videos, you know that I love a gift box. And I've got this one here. This is a made to measure gift box. You can do this in pretty much any size you like. And I've just secured it with some ribbon. And this is a kind of pizza style box. So it just opens up like that. Opens up like a pizza box, and I've got in here my favourite range of makeup. I've just got a makeup palette in there. It's actually empty. I've got a makeup palette in there, and I've just created the sizes to measure that. So I've just measured my box, added no more than 1/4 of an inch to each measurement, and then created this. And what I wanted to do was show you how to do that. But at the same time is to show you as well some new speciality designer series paper that we've got. And I'm going to be using the Painted with Love range. So just to give you an idea of what's here, we've got the, it's got the foil on it. So you've got 6 different designs there. And then on the back, which would be very nice for this box to have a really nice lining to it, we've then got these here. So these, this speciality designer series paper is in the new Spring Summer 2018 catalogue. There is a video as well in which you can I preview some of the things that appear in that catalogue, along with the celebration promotion that's running with it. So I'm going to use this one that's got that on the back, and use that to create this. So I'm going to do the same size box to put this in there, but I have also created, again, a smaller box. It's just done in exactly the same way. I will put all of the measurements on my blog, and I'll leave a link to that in the description bar. If you want to see any further videos or look at what I've made before, then just subscribe, and then you can also see what we're looking at in the future. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be showing you lots of things that are appearing in the celebration and in the Spring Summer catalogue during the celebration 13-week period. So without further ado, I've got a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit so you can see, because it's a big sheet of paper. Now for this project, I need a piece of paper that measures 10 1/4 by 10 inches. So I need to trim this down a bit. There won't be too much wastage because I'm actually going to make a gift tag out of this as well. So I get my favourite Stampin' Up piece of kit. I love this because it's really multifunctional. And I'm going to trim this. Now it depends what way you want. There's a bit of a direction going here. It really does depend how you want it to go. So I'm going to have this running that way. So I need the depth of this, or the height of it, whatever you want to call it, to be 10 inches. So I want it to go that way. So this measurement is 10 inches. And then this measurement will be 10 1/4. And now what I want to do, what I've got left is this, and I've got this. This is 2 inches wide. I'll just check that, I'm sure it is. Yeah, it's 2 inches wide. So now to make the tag, I just now want to trim that to 3 inches. So I'll put that to one side and we'll use that later when we come to make the gift tag. So keeping the paper trimmer out for the moment. Not only does this trim paper by using the blade on this attachment, but we also have a scoring facility on here as well. So I use this to score. And the reason why I would use the paper trimmer to score is that we have very small increments of measurements on there. So our measurements here go to a 1/16 of an inch, which when you're making boxes with lids or making something that needs an intricate measurement on it, then having the 1/16 of an inch measurements on here makes a huge difference. So the first thing we're going to do is work out which is our widest. So it's that one. So this is the long side, and we're going to do our scoring here Whenever I'm using anything with foil on it, I don't want to be scoring on it, so I'll flip it over. So this is the widest section. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score firstly at 9¼ inches. So just find that measurement along there. So I'm going to score 9¼ there. Please make sure that blade is down at the bottom and out of the way before you go and ruin a sheet of paper. Always take your time, don't rush these things. I've done it before, I've made a project and accidentally trimmed instead of scored. Highly frustrating. So you're going to score, you're going to take your paper over to the 9¼ measurement, and then you're going to score. And go up and down that just a couple of times to make sure you get a decent score line in there. You're going to flip it 180 degrees and you're going to do exactly the same. Go along to 9¼ Always check before you score, always check that the top of your paper, let me just get that into shot, that the top of the paper is pushed up against that barrier there. Then you know that you're getting an accurate and square line. Make sure you've got the scoring part of it and just score down there like that. So that's all we have to do on that side. Flip it 90 degrees and you are going to take it to 9 inches. You're going to do exactly the same. Make sure that that top edge is pushed up against that barrier there. Score it. Turn it 180 degrees. And you are going to score at, sorry, I had to think for a minute then. You are going to score at 4½, at 5½, and then at 9. I can put that away now, we're done with that. So it'd be difficult for you to see on this shot here, but we've got lines running here and here, and then we've got lines running down there, here and here. At this point you would need to decide what's going to be the top of your box and what is going to be at the bottom of your box. I'm just going to adjust the camera again so you can see this. Sorry, just wanted to make sure that you got that. There we go. So what you have here, you've got squares in the corner, the middle, and the corner, and then the corner, the middle, and the corner. So make sure you're looking at it like that at this moment. So these two squares that are here, you are going to cut up to the first score line and just cut it as accurately as you can up each score line, up to that first score line. You just have that, and then you are just going to form a notch in there and form a notch in there. Turn it around and do exactly the same thing. And just put a bit of a notch in there. This is just going to form a tab in which we can stick this down to the side of the box. At this moment that is still equal. So decide now what's going to be the top of your box. So this is going to be the top. So this is the bit that's folding over there like that. And what I'm going to do is make a measurement halfway along this edge. So in between these two score lines here, I need 4 2/16. So just there like that. And then I'm going to get my 1/2 inch punch. Just line that up like that. It goes flying. And so you've just got a little thumb notch there. And that now tells me that that's the top of my box and I haven't got to keep guessing. So when we're dealing with this, what we're going to do is take out these two squares here. So just cut up nice and neatly, because this edge will be on show. And then just cut up to that first score line there, and you can get rid of that square completely. And you are going to do the same on this side as well. So we've got that. At that point now, so you've got, that's the top of your box. With this rectangle and this rectangle, I want you to very neatly just then notch into that corner like that, and notch into that corner like that, trying to keep those angles relatively even, although they are going to tuck into the box. You're going to turn it around and you're going to do exactly the same. Notch into that corner there and into that corner there. So that's the top of our box dealt with. We now need to deal with the bottom of our box. So we've got two score lines here, one here and one here, and we are just going to carefully cut up to that first score line on there and cut up to that first score line there. And I'm going to notch into it here, and I'm going to notch into that there. I'm going to notch in there, and finally I'm going to notch into there. So that's what we're looking at. There's the top of your box and there is the bottom of your box. You can now go ahead and fold and burnish all of those score lines. Now again, when we're dealing with foiled paper, I prefer to be quite gentle with it. We still want a good crease, but just take the flat of your bone folder and then just go along and fold and burnish all of those score lines. Just being very careful with the right side of your card. There we are, we've gone all the way around. So now we need to start, what we want to do is to create the bottom of this box. And so what's going to happen, we're going to put some adhesive on these two flaps there and these two flaps here. They will attach, whoops, like that. And then these will come in there like that. So turn it so that you can see the top of the box, or the outside of the box. And then you want to get your adhesive. So I'm just using snail for this. I think when you're using foiled paper, wet glue doesn't work brilliantly, but you can try it. Double-sided tape I think would be ideal, but it's quite time consuming, so I'm using snail for speed. So we're just going to put some adhesive just on these tabs here and on these tabs here. You want the adhesive quite close to the fold line there, so you don't get any gaps when you start to construct it. Okay. So just to show you what's happening here, there's the bottom of your box. Take this tab and fold it inwards and attach it to the front, what is now the front of your box. So make sure that the cut edge is running flush along the folded edge. Do the same on this side. And make sure that runs flush there. And then take this tab. This is when it starts getting awkward. Fold it in there so that the cut edge matches that folded edge as accurately as possible. and then finally take that one there. I think what I realise I haven't done is actually scored those middle lines. I'll sort those out in a second. So there is our box fully constructed. And ready to put our gift in. So there's my makeup palette, which I shall put in there. And then I'm just going to tuck those edges in there. And then that front comes around like that. So what we need to do now is just to hold it together. And I'm going to use some ribbon to do that. Now the promotion that we have on at the moment, 13 weeks from the 3rd of January, we are running Celebration, which runs alongside the spring and summer catalogue. And if you spend £45 or more, you can then choose a free gift from the Celebration catalogue. So I did that recently because I'm a demonstrator. I'm able to preview some of the goods. I'm able to preview all of the spring and summer catalogue, and so I made a pre-order. And because mine was over £45, it was actually considerably more than £45. I got some ribbon, and there were three reels of ribbon, which was one of the free gifts for spending over £45. So what I'm going to do is take some ribbon like that. That might be too much, but I'm just going to cut that at one end, cut it at an angle, and that will prevent any fraying. My scissors are a bit gummed up, probably best to use fabric scissors. So I've got my ribbon there, but first we're going to make a gift tag. So I'm just going to put that to one side for a moment. Remember I had that piece of card that I had that was 2 inches across, and then I cut it at 3 inches. I'm going to use that to create a tag, and I'm going to use that using the scallop top tag punch. And I'm going to put that in that way so I've still got some of that foiling there. You just push that into there like that, punch. Now we have a perfect gift tag. Now we can't write on it at the moment because we've got that there. I did cut out a white one, which I've put to one side and now cannot find. So I'm going to have to quickly make another one. Get the paper trimmer out and just measure that. I already know this is 2 inches wide, and then just cut that at 3 inches. Put it in the tag, punch, and there we have it. And then all I would do is just then stick that to there so that I can then write on the back of that and still have the nice design on the front. So I'm just going to get my snail. I would spend more time doing this. I'd probably do this with wet glue to make sure I got an accurate match to it. Let's just put a bit there. And the thing with wet glue as well is that you can just wibble it about a bit to make sure it's in line. That's not bad actually. And there we have a gift tag. So just to put this together now, so that's just closed up, the sides tuck in there. The front comes over like that. Look how beautifully that ribbon matches the paper. How nice is that? So just going over like that, cross it at the bottom, just to even that up a bit. And then I'm going to put my gift tag on. And then we are just going to tie a knot. I would do a bow, but I don't want to embarrass myself. So I'm just going to do a nice knot. When the camera's not running, I can do a bow absolutely fine. Camera running, I can't. So there we have it. A lovely, quick and easy box. and then when you take the ribbon off, you've then got just a little thumb space there to put in there and to open it. So I think that beautifully shows off the Painted with Love Designer Series paper. I've got some more projects coming up soon to show some of the other products that we've got, but I'll leave a link to my blog, which will have all of the measurements and links to the shop as well, and you can shop with me, and I will leave a link to the shop so that you can browse all of our beautiful products. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see more videos, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.